the whole biotech space has fallen off a cliff thanks to the political firestorm over the issue of drug pricing, or price gouging, the term Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton used in her notorious tweet. In this sell-off, the development stage biotechs have been the hardest hit because their valuations entirely depend on how much money they can potentially make from drugs that could be released, let's say, years in the future. And with lots of investors worried that Congress might try to impose some kind of pharmaceutical price controls down the road, these stocks have been absolutely slammed, no matter how good they are. At some point, though, we have to wonder if these early-stage biotechs have been punished enough, especially when people are worrying about something that might not happen at all. Take TG Therapeutics, TGTX. It's a developer of monoclonal antibodies. They creates treatments for various types of cancer, and it's seen its stock plunge 36% from its all-time high this past March. Even as shares have started to rebound dramatically since last Wednesday. TG Therapeutics has an exciting pipeline, including 2 blood cancer drugs that, when combined, can deliver some potentially fabulous results for patients. Now, a couple of weeks ago, the company got FDA approval to run a phase 3 trial using both of these drugs together as a treatment for chronic lymphocytic leukemia. And if the FDA likes what they see, well, that means these 2 compounds could be approved simultaneously. In other words, even as the stock has been hammered, there's been some pretty darn good positive developments at the company. Let's take a closer look with Michael Weiss, the chairman, president, and CEO of TG Therapeutics, hear more about how his company's doing and what he thinks of this whole drug pricing kerfluffle. Mr. Weiss, welcome back to Mad Money. Good to see you, Michael. Have a seat.
Thanks, Jim. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, this is really extraordinary news. He got this special protocol assessment in another environment, perhaps one where people weren't so anxious to call foul for a company that might charge much. This is a very important development for people who have suffered from a very serious disease.
Yeah, no question. We were obviously ecstatic when we got there. I mean, we spent a lot of time with the FDA. They helped us out a lot. I mean, the key to the company, our belief is that getting drugs to market is one thing, but pricing is going to be an issue. And we've seen it, obviously, this past few weeks. I'm sure we'll touch on that some more. But the ability to get both those drugs approved in one clinical trial gives us the ability to basically price it the way we want to. And again, obviously, we're not running a charity. We're here to sell drugs and sell it at a reasonable price. And I think we can get there without price gouging. I know there's a lot of issues about that.
All right, but let's talk first about timetable. If you're watching at home, a phase 3 doesn't mean that it's going to be this month, but it could be, what, within a couple of years?
Yeah, so the study should get started hopefully in the next 30 to 60 days. We anticipate it'll take about 18 to 24 months to enroll the trial. And then it could be within another 6 to 12 months after that we could have an outcome.
Well, Michael, a lot of this is fatal disease. I mean, how do you have trials that can last that long? How do you do that knowing that people may not live long enough to be in the trial?
Yeah, so this is chronic lymphocytic leukemia is the study. So the term chronic obviously implies this is a fatal disease, but the patients will typically have it smoldering for years.
Okay.
And so we're able to get in there, and hopefully, again, the goal is to really prolong life, ideally to come to a cure. And that's, again, part of the company that we're so excited about is we have the 2 drugs. We've always believed that it's not going to be 2 drugs that get to a cure, but 3, 4, or 5.
Right.
And how do you price that? Right?
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, you've got a terrific deck which talks about these because you're also from the banking side and finance side. I'm going to turn right to the page that really grabbed me. Balancing incentives. Failure to distinguish between generics and patented pricing issues could have catastrophic unintended consequences. Like what?
Yeah, so again, I think what the politicians don't really separate is they put all drugs into one category and they say these, tweet about, in different ways. But the difference between the innovative side of the business and the generic side, right? The generic, well, let me go backwards. To me, we have a social contract, right? Which is we're going to pay almost any price within reason for innovation, right? Because we want to live longer, better lives. But once we've paid for it, 10, 15 years of exclusivity, then we want to get it for a low price.
Right.
And what's happened recently is there's been a group of folks have come in and basically changed the game, right, in a way that we don't think, obviously.
Well, how do you get it to change back? Those people could, as you call it, could cause the death spiral of biotech. An article about Valiant today in the Times, very meaningful.
Yeah, no, we think that if the pricing issues go from generics into innovative, that basically that is the start of a death spiral for the biotech industry. And we saw this in 1994. You'll probably remember this.
Yes, I do.
When Hillary came out and she started all those discussions about pricing and socializing medicine, the biotech industry dropped 90%. And it didn't actually recover until 98. And she wasn't even successful. Can you imagine if she imagine, Jim, if she was successful, we wouldn't see half of the innovations we've seen in the last 10 or 15 years would be gone.
Well, okay, well, let's leave it at that. That's really important because you've done a lot of good things, and obviously you wouldn't be doing them if in that regime.
Yep.
That's Michael Weiss. He's the chairman, president, CEO of TG Therapeutics. Check out what he's doing, okay? Don't think about what the politicians are saying. That's not the way to go. Stick with Cramer. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.